Navigating the Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Institute, or AHRI Database. What we're going to cover today is a background on AHRI, why focus on energy needs it, how we use it to show that equipment meets guidelines, and also a demonstration on using the AHRI database. What is AHRI? It's a database of equipment efficiency submitted by manufacturers. Now, not every possible combination is submitted, only those the manufacturers consider to be likely installed. Applies to heat pumps, air conditioners. Also, manufacturers generally only provide ratings for matched equipment, the manufacturer's furnace, for example, heat pump, and coil. But some manufacturers will rate outdoor units with the coil without an air handler or furnace. Those are generally known as coil-only combinations. What AHRI does, it provides independent verification and certification of manufacturers' efficiency ratings, and AHRI has the ability to test any combination of equipment submitted, and the manufacturers face penalties if that equipment doesn't meet the stated efficiencies. AHRI certificates, again, provide that independent verification, and that's what Focus on Energy needs to show administrators, evaluators, and the Public Service Commission that equipment is meeting the guidelines set in Focus on Energy. Meeting with Focus on Energy guidelines. Utilizing AHRI allows verification the equipment sold to the customer meets or exceeds program requirements. Distributors and/or manufacturers can typically provide an AHRI certificate with their equipment selection tool. If training is not available through your distribution network, this training will help you find an appropriate certificate. If no AHRI certificate is available for the combination of equipment you are installing, please reach out to your energy advisor for possible alternatives. Energy Advisor can be found on our website, focusonenergy.com/energy-advisor-map. Why is it so important? Obtaining AHRI certificates before making the sales presentation to your customer will ensure you are quoting qualifying equipment. An AHRI certificate or manufacturer's letter is typically required for the 25C federal tax credit. As a hint, you should provide a copy to the customer and put a copy in their folder for future reference. Focus on Energy verifies each piece of equipment on the application, invoice, and AHRI certification. Having the AHRI certificate up front will lead to fewer application issues, fewer calls from program staff, quicker processing times, and increased customer satisfaction. Efficiency requirements. Focus on Energy uses the AHRI database, not the manufacturer's sales literature, to confirm efficiency ratings. Manufacturer sales literature typically has an up to number for efficiencies, SEER2, EAR2, HSPF2. That means you could have efficiencies less than stated on that literature. Focus on Energy will also use the Northeast Energy Efficiency Partnership Database and the CEE database, Consortium for Energy Efficiency, that it shares with AHRI to confirm efficiencies or the coefficient of performance at 5 degrees, the COP at 5 degrees, if that information is not in AHRI. Please note, any change to the coil, furnace, or air handler for the install will change the efficiency of the system. Efficiency requirements. For 2023 heat pump rebates, the air source heat pump, if it's ducted, requires a SEER2 of 15.2, an EAR2 of 10, and an HSPF2 of 8.1. If it's a ductless unit, it's a 16.0 SEER2, a 9.0 EAR2, and a 9.5 HSPF2. If the primary heating fuel is propane, oil, or some other delivered fuel, it's a $400 rebate. If it's primary heating fuel in the home is natural gas or electric, it's a $1,000 rebate. If the unit meets the requirements and has a COP, coefficient of performance, at 1.75 at 5 degrees, there's an additional $100 for a total of $500 for delivered fuels, an additional $300, $1,300 total for electric or natural gas fuels. Please note, the customer cannot receive the rebate for both a furnace or boiler and a heat pump. Because of the savings claimed, both those units are providing savings over the same period, and that would be double dipping or overclaiming savings through the program. Let's demonstrate how to use the AHRI database. Certificates and reference numbers. Every rated combination has a certificate and a certificate reference number. Those can be found on the left-hand side in blue. Clicking on them will open up and download a certificate. On the certificate, you can find the certified reference number. You can see the type of heat pump or category, either mini split or multi-split, or traditional heat pump with coil. You can tell the indoor type if it's ducted, non-ducted, or mixed ducted and non-ducted for mini splits. It will also give you the cooling capacity, heating capacity, and efficiencies, SEER2, EAR2, HSPF2. It does not at this time show the COP or coefficient of performance at 5 degrees. To search for AHRI certified equipment, visit ahridirectory.org. Searching the AHRI database by certificate reference number. AHRI reference number is the default search on the main screen. It's useful for all equipment types, and you can just enter the certificate number if you know it. Often manufacturers and distributors will supply the certificate number, if not the certificate itself, and sometimes it's available on manufacturers' websites in their equipment selectors. It's also an easy way to find the COP at 5 degrees for cold climate air source heat pump determination, because that's currently not listed on the certificate. Enter the AHRI number, click select, and it will bring up a display of the certificate number and ratings. Click on the blue reference number to download the actual certificate. Again, great to throw in the customer's file and keep for your records. But you can also look up the efficiencies and capacities found on the screen, as well as the COP at 5 degrees. Searching by product type. If you don't know the certificate number, you'll need to search by product type. To search information on a furnace and a boiler, you're going to need to know the brand and the model number. Heat pumps are going to require more information. You'll need the outdoor unit model number. You'll need the indoor unit model number. You'll need the furnace unit model number if it's a dual fuel piece of equipment. You'll also need the brand for these. Just a quick note, some models may include placeholders, an asterisk, an and symbol, the pound sign, etc. Or we'll have the same efficiency for several model numbers and we'll group these together with a comma. It's most common with indoor units or coils, but could occur on any of the model numbers. If the characters are separated by a comma, this means one of those characters can be used for the reference code. When searching the database, you can either use the end of the number to search as it appears if you know the format, but it may not give you exact results. So there is a little playing with AHRI database to find the equipment. Let's search for a furnace. Under the basic search bar is a drop-down menu labeled Product Type. Click the down arrow to the right of it. Step 2. Hover over Residential and then navigate to the Furnace category. Click on Furnaces. Enter the model number in the model number field. It's good to start small with few characters, hit search, and then look at what the string of characters look like in the database. You can then go and refine your search by adding furnace size or air handler sizes. For example, model number 95G1UH070BE12 could be entered as 95G1UH070. Once you've entered your model number and narrowed your search results, there may still be multiple lines in the database. At that point, you want to select a brand because most model numbers are the same across a manufacturer's series of brands. There's only one AHRI number for that furnace. If there's a variance of one number or letter, unfortunately, we would, at Focus on Energy, would have to go back and research the information to make sure we have the correct AHRI number and efficiencies. Once you've selected the right furnace, you can click on the AHRI reference number, download the certificate of ratings. Again, keep a copy for you, keep a copy for your customer. For boilers, the process is the same as a furnace. You can filter and narrow the results by using the brand, capacity, and/or the AFUE. Find the correct model number, brand name, and click on the AHRI certificate to get a copy of the certificate. Searching for a ducted heat pump. What we're talking about here is a traditional split system with an outdoor unit and a coil that's installed either on a furnace or an air handler. To search for a ducted heat pump, you'll need an outdoor unit, coil, furnace model numbers, or the outdoor unit and the air handler model number, which often comes with a specific coil. Under the basic search brown is a drop-down menu labeled product type. Click the down arrow on the right of that. Hover the cursor over residential, navigate to the heat pumps category, and then click on AHRI rating conditions. This may require multiple attempts due to a bug on the site. Start with one model number at a time, typically the outdoor unit. Again, start small, first 5 or 6 characters through the size of the unit. For example, you'd start with 38 MAR instead of 38 MAR BQ24 AA3. Select search. This will return several results, and by several, hundreds if not thousands. Look at the model numbers and compare the format to the model number you have. Add more characters to your search and click search again to refine the results. You can also copy the model number from the database, put it in the search to narrow results. Next, continue by adding the furnace. Again, start small, first for your characters, then select search. Step 5, add the coil last. Start with just the beginning of the model number. Click search and modify. Extend the coil model number as needed. Again, looking at the results and looking at the coil model number you have will help you identify how the model number is listed in AHRI. Coils are typically the most problematic, so by starting with the outdoor unit and the furnace, you can refine your results. This will make finding the coil match easier. You can also search and filter results by brand, minimum, maximum efficiencies, capacities, and any combination of criteria to find eligible equipment. This would help if you have an outdoor unit and a furnace in mind, but want to know what coil in combination will meet the Focus on Energy requirements or the federal tax credit requirements. When you find rated for your ducted heat pump, the COP at 5 degrees is listed to the right in the AHRI database. It does not correspond with eligible for federal tax credit. It does not correspond with cold climate designation. It's strictly the COP at 5 degrees to determine whether or not a qualified heat pump gets the additional cold climate incentive. Again, printing off the AHRI certificate, keeping a copy for you, keeping a copy for your customer, will be beneficial in the future. Searching for a mini split heat pump. To search for a mini split heat pump, you'll need to know the indoor unit model number and the outdoor unit model number, or the outdoor unit model number and the indoor unit type, whether it's a ducted, non-ducted, or mixed ducted and non-ducted. Mini splits are often called ductless or variable speed heat pumps. They're found in a different section of AHRI. Again, start with the outdoor unit model number. Click on residential, go down to variable speed mini split and multi-split heat pumps, and click on AHRI conditions. Type in the first few digits of the outdoor model number in the search. Repeat the process with the indoor unit. Not all systems have specific indoor unit matches, so it might be only listed with a generic indoor unit type: ducted, non-ducted, mixed ducted, and non-ducted. Again, start small and work your way up to the full model number, hitting the search, looking at the results, and refining your search. Once you've found the correct combination, click on the AHRI certificate, reference number, print off a copy for you and your customer. Does the unit need to meet ducted or non-ducted efficiencies? For the focus on energy rebate, a heat pump is considered ducted when it's listed in the heat pump section of the AHRI directory, or when it's listed in the variable speed mini split heat pump section of the directory and the indoor type is ducted. A heat pump is considered non-ducted or ductless when it's listed in the variable speed mini split heat pump section of AHRI and the indoor type is either non-ducted or mixed ducted and non-ducted. Please note the efficiency requirements for the two types of heat pumps is different. In the variable speed mini split heat pump section, navigate to the column that reads indoor type. There'll be three options listed: ducted, non-ducted, mixed ducted, or non-ducted. On the AHRI certificate, locate the cooling capacity, heating capacity, SEER 2, EAR 2, and HSPF 2, and the COP at 5 degrees if applicable. Low balance point is the compressor lockout temperature, the temperature at which or below only the furnace will run, applicable to dual fuel units. Or the high balance point is the furnace lockout temperature, only compressor will run above this temperature. Again, usually applicable only to dual fuel units. On the focus on energy application, you'll need to enter the information for outdoor unit, indoor unit, brand and model number. For the ducted heat pumps, you'll also enter a furnace or air handler, brand or model number. The AHRI reference number, if you found it there. The AHRI CE, if you found it on the AHRI CE list for the North Zone, or if you have a letter from your manufacturer and distributor because the AHRI reference is not available. Select the rebate based on the primary heating fuel and whether the unit meets the COP at 5 degree requirement. For non-ducted heat pumps, again, the AHRI certificate number or listed in the AHRI CE directory, the cooling capacity, the COP at 5 degrees if applicable, SEER, EAR, and HSPF 2. Low balance point, again, may not apply to these units, and the high balance point may not apply to these units. If it does not apply, please put NA for the high and low balance points. You'll enter the outdoor unit, brand and model number, indoor unit type, ducted, non-ducted, mixed ducted, and non-ducted. The AHRI reference number, if applicable. If you found it on the AHRI CE list for the North Zone, or if you have the manufacturer distributor letter because the AHRI reference number is not available. Select the appropriate rebate based on the existing primary heating fuel and if it meets the COP at 5 degrees requirement. Again, you would qualify for either the $1,000 or the $1,300, not both, either the $400 or the $500, not both. If you do have any questions, please reach out to your energy advisor. In the Northern Territory, that's Jeremy Wilkinson, Southeast Territory is Jackie Thiebert Blank. In the Southwest Territory, it's Scott Saylor. This information can be found at focusonenergy.com.